Hello, hi there, and welcome to my show. I'm your host, Ferdinand, and today we're going to talk about your name in all caps. Now, I had a question from a few people. I had some questions and some emails from a few people, and one of them was name in all caps, and it reads a artificial person said to have their name in all caps, but if If you receive a letter not having the name in all caps, are you still seen as a person or a man? Okay, all right. So that's a good question there. So name in all caps. If you receive a letter um, with your name in all caps or not in all caps, what's the difference between them and what does it mean to you? Now, the difference between the name in all caps and the difference in lower cases is that well, before I go into it, let me give you a little bit of background um, regarding the all caps. So the all caps is a kind of it's a throwback from Roman times. Roman, Latin, it's all way in the past. This sort of thing was conjured up to represent various entities in society. Most of the all caps represent the fictional world, the world that try the way you see the thing is for me. The way I like to explain all caps is that it's a representative of the past, present, and it's a representative of one's creature or one's self of the past, present, and future. By that I mean an all caps. For instance, an all caps is tantamount to saying a picture. It's a fiction. Okay, it represents your image on, say, a building. The color represents the man. The man was of pale skin or brown skin or black skin or whatever. It's a representative of a thing or a person or something living. Okay, so for me it's a kind of representative of the past, present, and it's a snapshot of every aspect of our journey. It represents a man can represent a person. Okay, so your person could be your fingerprint, your retina scan, your image, your color, the color of that. So the black and white color would be the representing the zebra. It would be a representative of the zebra, but the zebra is a living person. But the stripes, the black and white stripe is, it represents it's a representative of the zebra, if you put it that way. So whether the zebra died 10 billion years ago or the zebra is living now or in the future, it kind of represents that person, that creature in the world of the past, the present, and the future. It will carry on to represent whatever was or still is. It's a bit like that. So for me, the all caps is like that. It's useful if you find if it's useful to you, then you can use it. Okay, if it has any use to you, I mean, I only, for instance, I only use my fictions when if and when they're beneficial to me. So if the thing is no benefit to me, I don't use it. Okay, so you need your fiction to represent you in various aspects of life. In court, you need a fiction at certain points. In life, you need a fiction. My name is my fiction. My picture, photograph of me is my fiction. It represents me as my person. Okay, so we kind of need it in various aspects of our lives. It's a representative of us, past, present, and future. If you look at it like that, so in a way, all caps are fine. It's just to say that this is a person, not a human being I'm dealing with. It's fictional. Okay, if it comes in upper and lower case, it represents you. However, as I say, it's a representative. So if it if you receive a letter in pure low upper cases, it's tantamount to being a bit rude. Also writing a formal letter, emails or something. in a whole letter in capital letters. It's tantamount to shouting. It's a bit rude to do it like that. But in lowercase, it just means that now we go down to a more the more formal, respectable side of communicating or corresponding with someone. It's not loud. It's just representing the commonality of the of whatever you're trying to convey. It's more the common, normal side of it. The side that is not very loud and is not shouting. Put it that way, and it's not fictional in of such. You're not referring to the person. Sorry, to the individual you're corresponding with, because we don't correspond with a tree. We don't correspond with a ghost. We don't do necromancy. That's consoling with the dead. We don't do that, because to do that is it's tantamount to talking to. It's like talking to a door. You're not really going to get any. Look, most people will mix up the fictional world with the world of the spirit world. I don't know what's the difference between them, but for me, I don't find that I don't find talking to a door or something that doesn't exist. Well, it doesn't talk to me back. I've prayed many times, kids growing up, and prayed of this and prayed of that, and never really get anything from it. Some people claim they've seen this and they've seen that. Not saying it doesn't exist, but for me, the fictional world stays where it is for me. It's fiction and it stays there in its place. That doesn't mean to say there's no, as I say, a man can represent a person. A man is a person, but a person is not a man. Okay, but a man can be a person and can represent whatever is on that piece of paper. So I and John Henry Doe here present my person. So a man can represent my person in the form of the birth certificate. He can present it in court. I here, John Henry Doe, hereby present my person. I, the man, here present along with my person. So a man can represent his person. So I believe that in all caps, it's not a big deal. Of course, it means that it's a fiction, doesn't exist. However, it still have its advantages and its disadvantages. It has various. You use it even when you so find the benefits to do so. In lower caps, it just means that it represents the more of the living side. It's you, I. The common I represents the singular. I, the one. Okay. It still has its head on the common I. The capital I is missing. It's the little tip at the top, the I at the top of it. But when you the I that I'm talking about looks. This is how I generally write my. If I'm writing letters, that's my I there, and of course, so there are two different I's here. So here we have the two different one now. I generally use this one when I'm writing my correspondence, and this one is generally with the head of it missing. It's all cut off there to kind of diminish the status, the standing of this, the singular I. His head is missing here. There's no head there. There's no tip on it up there. So that's just the way I do it. So they have their various advantages and disadvantages, and you just got to know when it's beneficial to you and you use it at that time. So if you get, for instance, and this is a quick and easy one, I'm not going to take too long with this, but for instance, if you get a court ruling, for instance, in all capital letters, the ruling is all capital letters, and I've seen that before. It just means that the man was not there. It was only a person, and whatever the ruling is wasn't against the man. I, the man, I, man, I, it was only against the fiction that was the so-called representative of the man was representing. It was against his fiction. So John Henry Doe was charged, and so it was, the ruling was in all caps. It's not in lower caps, signaling that they are recognizing that the living is among, that is here, is present here, among, if in the case of the courthouse, the dead, the living is among the dead. Okay, and for me, I like categories like that, the living and the dead. You see, one is acting in a fictional capacity, and the other is it's in the real world. It's a living man right there in front of you. So for me, it's a general letter. If I get a letter with my name in all caps, it means really very little to me. It's really not taught. I don't reckon. Pretty much ignore that. If I get it up on lowercase, then I'll pay more attention to that. It's actually addressing me. However, if it's something that for me, it's no business. It's no business of mine. Then I go ahead and of course I will ignore that as well. Now, I think this should be pretty much clear up the difference between the fiction, the living and the dead, the all capital letters, the in the lowercase and uppercase. For instance, in case of the I write my I with the little tip on the top, meaning I still retain my head. I'm singular, the one, I, man. Okay, if you use your I with just a single stroke, it means it's missing the head, and therefore it diminishes the singularity of I, man. Like that. That's how I generally start my letters with lowercase I, man, because I want to retain the gravity, the substance, the meaning of the word I, singularity, the I, the one. So I'm saying. Anyway, so that's pretty much for it. I hope I was able to clear up that little point there. I don't think I've missed anything. It's quite a simple one. If you get a letter in all caps, it means a fiction. So what if you get it in lower caps? Do you still retain your the man? Is the man still present? And of course it does if it's in lower caps. It's recognizing the man, I, man, the singularity. But if it's in all capital letters, it represents the fiction. So they're talking to the fiction, as I say in the case of the court ruling. And this is all throwback from Roman times. But of course we live in the real world. And for us, we are living human beings. We're not fiction. And so if you don't see any benefit, if you're being addressed as all capital letters, then of course they're not talking to you. But if you're addressed in up and lowercase, again, it's a scribble of some what we define as letters on a flattened out wood pulp, what we call paper with some ink on it, in the form what we describe as letters. Anyway, make up a name. It's not you, nothing to do with you. Nothing in writing can bind the man unless you consent to it. Okay, so it's a bit like that. So I think this is an easy one to answer. I'm going to stay too long on it. I think we all get the gist of it now. And as I say, this is how I begin all my letters with the first one, the common, the lowercase I, because that represents the man, I, man. Okay, and there's no degrading of my standing there. It retains all this substance there and everything. So as I say, most of these background, most of these capital letters and all that is a throwback from Roman times. But of course, we're living in modern times, and to hell with them and their old way of thinking and their old attitude. It's a new times. We recognize the full capacity of I, man. You know, the woman, the man. And so I hope this was able to clear up a few, if you have any nagging doubts about this. Of course, we could go deeper into where it came from and the Roman side of it and all the rest, but I don't want to complicate things here. I just represent I, singular, I, me, I, okay? And so upper and lower case, if there is advantage to it, as I say in quotes and so on, you might need a fiction to represent you as the person. The zebra as its fiction, the black and white stripes tend to represent the zebra. If it's in that context, say for instance the image of a zebra, black represents a zebra. It's to preserve posterity, past, present, and future like that. Okay, so if it's an advantage there, we can use pictures to represent us or thumbprints to represent finger and so on, so on, so on. So there might be advantage in there. Whenever it's an advantage to me, I use it. When it's not an advantage to me, I discard it. I drop any habits that I don't like. It's not working for me. I drop that habit. I change my attitude. If I find my attitude is not the right one. For instance, if you have the attitude where you envy other people's stuff, drop that attitude. It's the wrong attitude. So for me, it's a bit like that. If it doesn't work for you, drop it. We have to know what's good for us and we use it to our advantage. Okay, so I hope that clears everything up. As I say, I do this show from 7:30 to 8:30. You can contact me on 075774627704. My website is www.commonlawsolution.org. My email address is commonlawsolution@gmail.com. You can press that old microphone on WhatsApp and you can send me a voice message regarding any question. You can ask me any question. I got tons more questions to go through, but of course I ain't got, I can't just I have to do other things as well. So I'm getting through the questions and all the various emails and so on, and voicemails that are sent to my phone one by one. Okay, so every day I'm uploading new materials every day. So just keep looking, subscribe, keep checking every day, and of course give me the old thumbs up on the YouTube. And of course we appreciate all those who participate in the program and all those who donate to the cause. Of course, I'm trying to get a common law knowledge out there to everybody so that we can all protect our rights and property. It's the only law that will protect your rights and property. As I say, as always, and I will always continue to say, no people can be free and ignorant at the same time. You're either ignorant and stupid and lose all your rights, or you know your law, you know your rights, and you retain it by evoking always the law. You say this is the law, this is the natural law, and I know my rights, it's instinctive, it's innate, and if you take my stuff, I'm going to ask you to return property immediately. Okay, so I hope this was a bit helpful for you. I know it wasn't much information, it wasn't much background, but there's not much to it. As I say, maybe in another subsequent videos come, I may go a little bit deeper into where it, the origins of capital and all that. It's all Egyptian, Roman kind of stuff. It's all handed down throughout the ages over many hundreds or thousands of years. It's been handed down. So anyway, I'm cutting it off, keep it too long. So as I say, get in touch with me, ask me any question you like. In subsequent videos to come, we'll do court cases, more court cases. How do you write notice letters, things like that, and very helpful information to come. So keep watching, and God bless, and I'll see you all next time. Have a good day.